Captain's log. Evidence has been discovered indicating the presence of extraterrestrials on Earth 5 centuries ago.
This is the Army airfield in Roswell, New Mexico. During World War II, this was the base of the elite 509th Bomb Group. The Enola Gay that dropped the atomic bomb on Japan originated from here. The men and women who lived and worked here were used to keeping secrets. But in the summer of 1947, something definitely crashed just outside of town. But it was over almost as soon as it began. Within 4 hours, General Ramey, commander of the 8th Air Force, had taken charge, issuing a new statement. It wasn't a flying disc at all. But the residents of Roswell knew it was something more than a weather balloon. This film footage purportedly shows the actual crash debris, carefully cataloged and placed on display. It is shown here for the first time anywhere. Even more intriguing than the I-beams with the cryptic symbols is the metal fixture, obviously designed for some being with 6 fingers on each hand. Author Kevin Randall discovered that more people had handled the crash debris than anyone had ever suspected. Here in the desert just outside Roswell is where the alleged crash happened. Was it a flying saucer? Were there alien bodies on board? Or was it just a weather balloon, as the Air Force claimed? People still come and look for some kind of clue. But the evidence of the alien crash didn't come from here. It was revealed halfway around the world. Reels of black and white film showing an autopsy being performed on a strange humanoid being. The cameraman, who claims to have had a top military clearance, told Santilli that in 1947 he was flown urgently to Roswell, where he filmed the recovery of several of these beings, both alive and dead, as well as the autopsy of one of them. The alleged cameraman claims he shot the footage at Fort Worth Army Air Base. You are watching the autopsy of what some say is an alien from outer space. The strange body appears intact, except for an ugly wound on the right thigh. 2 mysterious doctors wearing contamination suits study its bizarre features. A third person wearing a mask watches from behind the glass partition. Is this indeed a top-secret military autopsy performed on an alien in 1947? Like with any mystery, we need to hear from witnesses, examine the hard evidence, and bring in the experts. First, the eyewitnesses. According to Frankie Rowe, her father discovered 3 beings still alive at the crash site. Each was crying, clutching a box close to his chest. They cried louder as we approached, he writes. One of the officers managed to pry loose the box by hitting the being with the butt of his rifle. Let's say the film is from 1947. Kodak says that's possible. And it looks like an Army photographer could have shot it. That doesn't mean this isn't a hoax. But how do you fake the flesh and blood body of an alien? Especially one that's about to be cut open. And I have to issue a warning at this point. What you are about to see is extremely graphic. This strange creature that some are saying comes from outer space does fit the popular conception of what an alien looks like. The huge head and enlarged eyes are familiar from books and movies about otherworldly visitors. And it has other bizarre features not common to humans. Weck's initial reaction was that we were looking at a woman with Turner's syndrome, a chromosomal disorder that affects 1 in 5,000 female births. The victims, who are lacking feminine chromosomes, do not develop sexually. However, few survive into adulthood. But Turner's syndrome is not its only defect. There are also the 6 fingers and toes and the enlarged eyes. Can this extraordinary diversity of disorders ever appear in one human being? Not only is the body being examined a mystery, but so are the examiners hidden behind their contamination suits. If this is an alien, then it reportedly died when its space vehicle crashed to Earth. A radiation experiment gone wrong? That would explain why the doctors are protecting themselves with contamination suits. And radiation could be the cause of the being's death, and also its freakish deformities. Remember, Roswell, where the body was supposedly found, was near the site of our military's secret nuclear testing program. If the pathologist cannot yet explain what could have caused this uniquely deformed creature, maybe they'll find the answer to the mystery when the dissection begins. That's when they take their examination to the inside of the body. Of course, another explanation is that this is not the body of a flesh and blood being at all, but rather a man-made creation designed to fool whoever sees it. Is the body we've seen really a victim of a fatal accident? Did a UFO crash and burn in the New Mexico desert? Could aliens have been curious about our newly developed nuclear technology? What does the government know? And what aren't they telling us? We'll never know until the secrecy surrounding the Roswell incident finally ends. The witnesses to this still puzzling event kept to their promises and remained silent for decades. Many lived in fear of the very government to which they now turn for answers. Stephen Schiff, congressman from New Mexico, has taken up their cause. His mission? To persuade the military, FBI, and other agencies to finally come clean. None of these agencies claim to have any information on Roswell. The GAO's findings? All these outgoing messages have been destroyed. And other researchers believe that the complete file on Roswell still remains hidden. It's a file they believe that includes documentary evidence of a crash and the autopsy of the alien found within. Was this a real encounter with another civilization? Is this alien autopsy really fact or fiction? He was an explorer, perhaps a scientist. Crashed and died on a distant blue planet, light years from his home. A frightened race of beings found his lifeless body, performed experiments, and hid the results. Why did he come to our planet? What went wrong? Obviously, his own mission failed. But in his death, he may have delivered the most important message mankind has ever received. We are not alone.
Yes, this is all very interesting, number one. And frankly, right now, I don't care.
You like me, right?
It doesn't matter. Just listen to your body, girl.
Yes, listen to your body, Becky. We can all hear it.